And it's Thursday.
Happy 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it is 3 o'clock, isn't it?
It is.
I just seem to migrate down here.
Yes.
It's like
you find your way.
It's like
Yes.
the migration patterns of birds. It's like Tuesday and Thursday, you just slowly make your way down here, and you don't know why you're here.
All roads
just
point
kind
to
of
this
end up
place.
here. I'm in my pond floating around for
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
before I migrate back north to my office.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What's going on?
We're rolling right along. I can't believe we're about to light that third candle.
Third candle,
On
the
the
pink
Advent
one.
wreath. Pink one.
The
yes.
pink one.
Candle
Yep.
of joy.
And the pink is supposed to symbolize joy. That's why that one's that different color, kind of that lightness and the we're almost there. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it kind of.
We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it.
Over the
that anticipation is building though.
the halfway mark, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We had a little youth party for just kind of a get together with our youth group.
Mm-hmm.
Did that last night.
Great.
And so good little get together. And then my kindergartner,
Yes.
he had a concert that he was in. I don't know if it's a concert, but it was.
Was he doing opera or?
Yeah. Yeah. He and the other kindergartners.
Okay, got
They
it.
sang all the favorite tunes, like "Why You Don't Eat Poinsettias."
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a public service announcement, but yet it's cute.
It was. It was
Right.
very much in those lines.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard all the songs that all of them were fresh
I
new
didn't-
holiday favorites.
And I
like
did
that.
not know that there was a "Do Not Eat Poinsettia" song.
There is. And he knows it. He's happy to sing it for you. We'll see what kind of mood he's in.
Right. It'll
But-
either be "Look at Me Like I'm Stranger Danger," or he'll sing at the top of his lungs. There's
Sing
no
at the
middle
top
ground.
of his lungs.
There's no middle ground
about
on that.
why you need to not eat poinsettias.
I think that everybody who owns a cat should also listen to this song
Yeah.
because they're not good for kitty
They're not
cats
good
either.
for cats either.
Yep.
He also sang "We Will Jingle You."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he worried about getting sued by Queen?
He didn't seem worried at all.
Okay, good.
No, he was up there all smiles.
Cease and desist
Yeah.
letters and all that.
Yeah. So he was all into it.
That's great. I remember back when Carl was in kindergarten and went to one of his Christmas programs, and he sang a song called "Snow Pants." Of course,
Yeah.
it was Illinois, so you would
Yes,
occasionally
you-
wear snow
you
pants.
do have snow pants.
Yeah.
There in Illinois.
And so I remember him singing "Snow Pants." I can't remember much else about the song except
that stood out though.
it was
you really took it to
prominent.
heart.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
you
all
did.
about the snow pants.
Yeah.
And but those are fun. Those kids concerts are always fun, right? Yeah.
They
So
are fun. Yes.
so today I was early morning. It was my weekly Rotary Club meeting,
Yes.
and we had an interesting speaker day. We always have a speaker of some sort. Some are
Okay.
interesting, some are not interesting.
It's good to have an interesting one. Getting up early in the morning.
If you're gonna get up
Yeah.
that early,
Yeah.
to be there at 7,
Yes.
you gotta be.
You want those interesting speakers.
That's right.
Yes.
So it was the executive director of an organization called Junior Achievement. Now, if you're not familiar with Junior Achievement, they're all about teaching children from kindergarten through high school financial literacy,
Really.
budgets,
Yeah.
how to spend, what do you want to do in your life to make money, So it's all about teaching financial skills to kids at every age. Now, if you didn't know this, they opened a new Junior Achievement Center just down the street from us. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So down the hill, underneath the 515,
Okay.
and just on the left side there, right past the 515, is a huge Junior Achievement building.
Really? Okay.
And I haven't been there yet, but Rachel, that's my wife.
Okay. That makes more sense now. Is that who that is who sits by you? Okay.
Yeah, at church, yeah.
Okay.
She was over there for an event, and the inside of it is like a mini town, like a mini city. And it's set up with like storefronts of different businesses that sponsor. And so when they bring kids in to teach about careers, occupations, and financial literacy, part of that is almost like full immersion role play of, you're going to work at this bank today, and some of you get to work at Cane's Chicken today, and role play what it means to be a boss or to work and to earn money, and so they actually do a lot of good work here in the valley.
Okay.
And so it was kind of fun to hear about them wanting to make a difference, because many kids get out of school and have no idea about things like, oh, there's rent, there's electricity, there's car insurance, there's all these things.
All these things that don't necessarily get taught in the standard model of teaching. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
back in the day, I don't know if you had it in high school, or maybe Phil, you did. We always had one class in our junior senior called consumer ed, and consumer ed was all about money and budgeting and that sort of thing, and,
Okay.
and kind of living life. But consumer ed was a class back in the day,
Okay.
like home ec was.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I was in, I think it was 7th or 8th grade, everybody was required to take home ec.
In 7th and 8th grade for me, it was
Yeah.
as well.
And so I made a pillow
I did that too.
and I cooked.
I can't remember what we cooked. I remember the teacher putting something into oil.
Oh, I bet you made,
French fries?
no. The homemade donuts.
I don't know what it was.
Homemade donuts. So I remember this. I actually made recipe cards. So you buy the biscuits, the tube biscuits,
Okay.
okay? You cut out the center so it looks like a donut shape kind of thing.
Okay.
Put oil in the pan, get it heated up. I mean, maybe about an inch. And then you can fry those biscuits and they float, and you flip them. And then once they're golden brown, you take them out and you dust them with cinnamon sugar. I made donuts in home ec.
Wow.
I mean, I did other things too, but I remember making the donuts.
Go.
Yeah.
I also remember the pillows. The pillows stand out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
must have been a standardized curriculum across the whole United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted
that?
to take wood shop, but they're like, you don't have time in your schedule. You're going to take home ec. It's like,
I think everything was mandatory. When you could fit it in at different spots, but you had to take everything.
had to take
in,
everything.
in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I was in band, so that took away one of the choices, right? So, I played
Yeah.
trumpet
The trumpet.
from sixth grade until 11th grade. Thank you. My embouchure is not as good as it used to be. I still remember all of the notes, though. I could totally.
Do you still have a trumpet?
Nope.
No.
I don't. But I know my C is open, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
There you go.
Yep.
Did you pick it up today and play?
I don't know if the lips would work, but I certainly could play the note. I mean, I got all the right settings for the notes.
So if somebody could blow for you, you
I
could play the notes for them.
That's correct. If there
That's
was
great.
a 2-person trumpet out there,
Yeah.
I'm all in.
All right. All
Yeah.
right.
So
We should
invest in that.
invest in that.
That's right.
Yes.
Guarantee that would be a one and done, right?
Well, I don't know.
Were you in?
I do not play the trumpet.
You weren't in band.
I was not. No,
Were you in track?
I wasn't track.
I figured.
Yeah.
You have the physique for track. I do not.
Would you run or
What? I did run. Yes, I was the long distance. Yes,
Yep.
long distance.
Yep. I was short distance,
Short distance.
about 10 yards.
All right.
They didn't
good
have
too.
an event for me
That's
though.
good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have our place in there.
And when I tried, I brought my own baton. I mean, actually it was a churro, but it looked like a baton.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they still didn't want me for whatever reason. So
Everybody's got their place.
everybody's got their place.
Yeah.
For me, it's in a basement in a church in Las Vegas.
That's where we are.
That's life
That's
for
where
me.
we are.
So, yeah, right. Where's that video? Back to the Bible,
Yeah,
right? That's
I
what we
know.
need.
Yeah.
So this past week at 8 and 9:30, we had a beautiful song sung by one of our guest soloists and friend of the congregation for the Christmas concert. But she came in and sang for us at church this past weekend.
Yeah.
Kristen Herzenberg.
Kristen Herzenberg.
Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
she always wonderful when she's in town, and then she makes time for our church often when she's
That's
in
right.
town. Like it's really wonderful.
matter of fact, Philip enjoyed that so much, he's leaving to go be with her
Yeah, he is.
tomorrow. And we figured this is a great way to start gossip. So we figured that's a great way to just kind of leave that out there, right? I'm helping. To play a concert. Okay, I'll
Play a
clarify.
concert.
Okay, I'll clarify. To do a concert in the state of Kansas. So,
be great.
but this song is beautiful, and it has some interesting background to it.
All right.
And so, with that, let's take a look at a song called Blizzard of Peace.
The astonishing snow race the whirling chase around our window, and below we watch the sidewalk grow a hilly, chilly pillow. We can't go to work with the snow past our knees, so just employ us to be joyous, please. We need to slow down, everyone agrees. Bring on this blizzard of peace. With a sigh of relief, let us take in the scene. The snow makes the city all quiet and clean. We smile and we stop, suddenly serene, blessed with this blizzard of peace. Bring on this blizzard of peace with a quiet that settles the soul. Hope for tomorrow through actions of love, making us happy and whole, making us happy and whole. Each life is a gift. Let our hearts fill with grace. This joy should envelop the whole human race. Rekindle the glow on every grown-up's face. Welcome this blizzard of peace. Bring on this blizzard of peace with a quiet that settles the soul. Hope for tomorrow through actions of love, making us happy and whole, making us happy and whole. And oh, that I pray when the snow melts away, this wondrous goodwill stays with us still. Bring on this blizzard of peace with a quiet that settles the soul. Hope for tomorrow through actions of love, making us happy and whole, making us happy and whole.
Love that song.
Wow. Yeah.
Heard it for the first time this weekend. Just love it.
Just a wonderful song. Yeah.
And we've never done it here, have we, Philip? So we've never done this song. And it is, you have to hunt for it. If you were going to look for it, it's not, not a lot of people have covered this song.
Okay.
And so when I first did a Google search for this song, the first hit on Google for a web search was Philip Fortenberry and Kristen Herzenberg doing this song. So that tells you that, like, not a lot of people have covered this song, and it's a great song, but if that's the number one hit, it's not like, oh, somebody from, like Patti LuPone did this and, it was, greatest hits or something, right? So did some digging, and I employed my research department, Philip Fortenberry,
Okay.
and I said, who wrote this dang song?
Yes.
And then
Get to the bottom of this.
And then he said, hold on, let me text him. I kid you not. And so within 10 minutes of me saying, who wrote this dang song? And I need to know about it, Philip got a response from Steve Marzullo,
Okay.
who wrote the music for this song.
Oh, yeah.
And well known in New York, and has played a ton of shows and written a ton of really good music. And he said, it was written by, the lyrics were written by Jennifer Allen, not to be confused with Dennis Allen's wife.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
for a minute we had a gold mine on our hands.
Yeah.
And then I was like, not that Jennifer Allen. So
Yes.
Jennifer Allen, and he says, she came up with the idea, and Steve says, all I did was set it to music, and she is wildly talented as a lyricist, an actress, and a singer. So
Okay.
this originally appeared, and I got to learn a little bit about this. It originally appeared on an album back in 2009, part of a compilation album that comes out every year. And the album is called Broadway's Carols for a Cure. And so every year, different shows that are currently on Broadway are asked from their ensemble, from their cast, to record a Christmas song of some sort. And
Okay.
it goes on an album.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this since 1999. So this is their 25th year of doing an album a year called Broadway's Carols for a Cure. But this one showed up on volume 11, which would have been in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And Blizzard of Peace. And what's really neat about this album is that any of the proceeds from this album end up going to a nonprofit organization that helps individuals with serious illnesses such as AIDS or women's health issues to receive the
Wow.
health care they need,
Wow.
and making sure it's covered
Oh my gosh.
financially.
Wow.
And so when you see a group of people putting together an album and they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart to make a difference in someone else's life, and usually how this works, though, if you know anything about this, you never get to know who you help most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter. The importance of doing something that makes a difference. And so it's a beautiful
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And so it first kind of shows up on that album back in 2009.
Okay.
And frankly, the song is so good and so pretty, I'm surprised more people haven't recorded it, to be honest.
It's a beautiful song.
And it's inspiring to be able to find a spot for it in our worship time. Last week was the candle of peace in our Advent wreath. It's the week
Perfect.
talking about peace.
Perfect there, yeah.
And this analogy of when the snow comes, things slow down, and there's a peace to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then equating that to a blizzard of peace with quiet that settles on the soul, hope for tomorrow through actions of love, making us happy and whole. And that I pray when the snow melts away, this wondrous goodwill stays with us still, making us happy and whole. And tying peace to that snow is kind of that reflection of the first snow of the year, which I talked a little bit about. And I don't know if that rings true for you when you were younger and back.
Yes,
That
yes.
first snow, you just kind of stop and
Yeah.
let it come down.
Yeah,
And-
and it is.
and it
It's all
quiets
just there's none of that yucky slush that
No,
kind of
it's white,
road,
it's pure.
Yes,
And if it's snowing as evening comes, the darkness of the evening also seems to insulate everything, and there's a moment of peace in that
It is,
first snow of the year, and so I love equating that to this idea of a blizzard of peace,
Yeah.
and it is about. It's not a passive thing, right? I mean, I think often people think about peace as some sort of passive enterprise, as that's the fruit of peace. Is it just is a stillness, but you have to work for it. Peace doesn't just happen.
Right. Yeah, it takes some. I mean, opening ourselves to that, to that experience and to that
And coming
living
together,
in that.
at the proverbial table, to have conversations that are equally agreed upon, and often in peace, both sides, whatever it is, have to give a little bit. And I think the greatest example that peace didn't happen is at the end of World War I, when Germany and Austria surrendered to the others, the Allies. There was a treaty signed called the Treaty of Versailles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not really a peace treaty because the winning side, the non-German Austrian side, put so many demands and so many stipulations on Germany that it caused economic hardship. It caused, they were punishing. It caused all sorts of things that actually was the chain reaction into World War II.
Yeah,
And
it started.
And it started at the Treaty of Versailles. And so if you're not a history person, what you would see is hyperinflation. You saw essentially a stripping of any sort of, even just from a pride kind of thing, like stripping Germany of its pride, its ability to govern, even setting it up in the Weimar Republic, which was ineffectual. Like everything that you look at the causes of World War II, all have their seats in the Treaty of Versailles. And it's fascinating because I didn't really understand that, because what you often do in history, if you're not doing a deep dive, is you just go, well, it was Hitler, right? Like,
Yeah,
Hitler came
this
to power.
was World War I, and then here's separate. Here's World War II,
yep,
and
and
it's just like
Hitler showed up
happened
and
to be
caused
Germany
it.
on both of them, and whatever, and
Yeah.
and it's like one kind of directly led. Yeah, that's an interesting point.
And so then the contrast to that is when you talk about people coming together. At the end of World War II, even with all the devastation and damage, one of the things that the United States worked really hard on was something called the Marshall Plan. And the Marshall Plan was all about helping all of Europe that wasn't controlled by the Soviet bloc to recover. So, okay, the war's over. Now we're going to help you rebuild.
Okay.
And so what you see today in Germany is a real economic powerhouse. They're the strong economic driver of Germany, right? But part of that is the rebuilding of Germany by the United States after World War II, as opposed to we're going to punish, and hold you down, right? And so the point is to have peace, folks have to come together and have that conversation.
Yeah.
And come to some agreement. Now in Scripture, obviously we covered some peace passages the other day, but let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 today, and listen to this. And this is near the beginning of Proverbs, where there is a personification of wisdom, as if wisdom was a person. And Solomon writes to kind of think about wisdom as more than just a concept.
But wisdom can call out to you. Wisdom can,
Yes.
try to reach out.
And so listen to this, Proverbs 3:17-18. Wisdom's ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her, and those who lay a hold of her will be blessed. So there's this female personification of wisdom. And I like it because without a doubt, Rachel is the smarter of the two people in my household.
Source of wisdom.
Source of
we
wisdom.
need that.
So
yeah.
So I'm all aboard on the wisdom train.
But it is kind of a neat little, just passage in there in Proverbs. I remember I had a Bible teacher in undergrad who read from some of the passages in Proverbs there and said, "Who's talking there?" And had to have us guess. Was it, who was it who was talking? It was wisdom.
Yeah.
Saying, calling out to the people. Yeah.
And this understanding that, and remember, the working definition I use, other people might have other definitions, and that's fine. Wisdom is knowledge plus application, kind of putting it into real life. That's what wisdom is. It's the same thing as you may know everything there is to know about driving a car up here, but the application of it, the actual driving of it, is different than just having the head knowledge. And that applying the riches of God's wisdom into our lives will bring peace. Not that nobody will fight around you. That's not what it's saying. It's saying you will find peace when you apply, biblical teaching into your life and hold those principles as something that you value, which will allow you to live more at peace than if you live by the seat of your pants.
Well,
and often those who choose to live by the seat of their pants are often embraced in more moments of chaos than others. And so embracing wisdom and what she offers us is good.
it is good.
It is good. And so, but I like that personification. Now, if you go a little bit deeper into Proverbs in chapter 14, peace comes up again.
Okay, so yes. So just jumping ahead a few chapters. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones.
So it doesn't tell you how to have peace, but it does make a pretty clear contrast, right? That if you are looking at and always concerned about what other people have,
Yeah. How destructive that can be. If
That's
if that's where we're focused at, if that's what we're looking toward, is what are other people doing? What do they have? What am I lacking?
why don't I have that? Why am I not?
Rots you to the very core.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it's saying. And
So there's a lack of
lot truth to
peace,
that.
right? When you are in the midst of being upset or worried or angry about what you don't have.
Yeah.
And that ends up not giving you any peace whatsoever.
Right.
However, when you have peace, it just says you give life to the body. In other words, you just feel better. When you're not worried about keeping up with the Joneses, well, what do they have? And why don't I have that? When you're not worried about that, and you can just live your life.
Yep.
This is who I am. This is what I'm about. And I'm okay being able to say no to things. I don't have to have that. I don't need to do that. And I think one of those places that was a hot button phrase a few years ago, maybe a couple years ago, was FOMO. Remember FOMO?
Yes.
If you've never heard that before, that is a line of the fear of missing out. And
It's a real thing.
and FOMO is kind of sits within that envy thing. Like, I got to be a part of this, and I didn't get invited to that, and I got to be, I don't want to miss this, and I don't want to miss that. Not from an excitement, but you're just worried that somebody might have more fun than you.
Yeah.
I have JOMO.
JOMO.
Yeah, the joy of missing out.
The joy of missing out.
That's my life. The
That's
joy
great.
of missing
That's
out.
great. Yes.
I bet you, if we had a camera on Philip, he'd go, "Yeah, the joy of missing out." That's right. But part of that is being the closet introvert that I am, and I know nobody wants to believe that.
But the thing is, you're accepting of whatever it is that's in front of you. I'm going to have that
That's right.
joy. That way, ideally, it's like, hey, that person can enjoy themselves where
Yep.
they're at.
That's right.
I can enjoy where I'm
Where
at.
I'm at, and I don't have to
That's-
compare. I don't have to
yes.
keep up.
Yes.
I can sit at home quietly with myself and be extremely happy.
There you go.
The joy
There you
of
go.
missing out.
The joy
right?
of missing out.
Right. And then of course, when you think about peace, it's external, which moves from external to internal. In other words, it comes from somewhere else. And where we understand that is it is Christ who provides and wants to give us peace. It's a fruit of the Spirit.
So yeah, it starts outside, but we can receive it in our hearts.
Yeah. So in faith, the more we trust God, the more certain things show up in our lives. Joy, love, peace. Some of
Yeah.
the fruits of the Spirit. So you can actually gauge your own spiritual journey based on kind of where are you at in the peace world in your life. Are you anxious all the time? And that's not a judgment, but it's like, oh, well, maybe I need to think about how do I draw closer to Christ if being closer to him means I'll have more joy, love, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
Yeah.
And that's the whole
Yeah.
bunch. But if you just wanted to focus in on that one, you go, wait a minute. If I seem to have anxiety all the time, there is a cure for that. And that is drawing closer to God and not being so concerned about your neighbor's business and everybody else's business. Instead,
Yeah.
you're just like, I just got to focus in on Jesus' business. And that in itself will actually generate some peace in your life.
Yeah.
So speaking of it being external, moving towards an internal peace, is we go to Isaiah, which we read yesterday.
Yes, this was a passage that we offered at our Advent worship service.
That's right. So this one, I think is good because it's a Christmas time, Advent.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Isaiah getting a glimpse, because that's what a prophet does. He gets a glimpse of what God is up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fully convinced, by the way, when you think about the prophets, some of them were really good at speaking God's heart into a moment. Like, this is God's heart on what's going on right here, right now. Jeremiah was really good at that. Isaiah had not only that gift, but he also got glimpses into what God was up to in the future. Yeah. And what I would tell you is, I am convinced that even when God gave a word of prophecy, for lack of a better term, I'm not sure the prophet at the time fully understood what that meant.
I don't. He got a glimpse, and
He got
I
a
think,
glimpse.
But even us reading those words so many years later, we're glimpsing at something even more.
That's right.
and or we have the opportunity to.
That's right.
Um,
And so
Yeah.
God puts a word on Isaiah or any prophet's heart, and he shares it, but it's not as if he somehow had, this movie playing of the life of Jesus or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So he might not fully have grasped it, including when you get into Isaiah 53, where it's all about the suffering servant. And we can make sense of it seeing the life of Jesus, but Isaiah saying it might have seemed like, okay, I'll say this, but it seems a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, here we go. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 and 7. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace. Now listen to this. Of the increase of his government and peace, there will be no end. So even in this verse of prophecy, you hear that word peace come up twice.
Yeah.
Not just once, like, oh, he has a title, Prince of Peace, but when this one comes, that his leadership and the peace that he brings will increase. And so I think when you think about that, you go, okay, if I want more peace, then I need to kind of step deeper into his government, which would therefore be the kingdom of God. I need to step deeper into the kingdom of God if I want more peace in my life. And we have that free will. We can choose not to do that. We can choose to do whatever we want. But if you want more peace, it's about stepping closer.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things about Christmas time is that peace that is offered to us if we want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, hey, we got some good stuff happening this weekend. We have our Hill and Dale Christmas program on Saturday at 10
Okay.
here in our sanctuary.
Okay.
So if folks want to come and see it and support those little ones, that is an invitation.
So it's open to all.
It's open to everybody
All right.
who wants to do that. And then, of course, we step into worship later on Saturday with our first Saturday night worship of the weekend. We light that joy candle, that pink candle, and then,
Yep,
of course,
Joy
Sunday
Weekend.
morning, 8, 9:30, and 11 as well. So
Yeah.
so we got a big weekend, not as big as last weekend
But it's a big
with the
weekend.
Christmas
And
concerts.
it just keeps increasing.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
Awesome.
increase of church events and peace, there will be no end.
That's right.
That's the other
That's
alternative
right.
of Isaiah.
There shall be no end.
That's exactly right. But as always, if you'd missed the Christmas concert, it is on our website. We'd love for you to
That's
take a
right.
look at that, and we'd love for you to join us. Not only in the next 2 weeks of Advent, but also as Christmas approaches too.
Yeah, it's free and available to everybody. That's the Christmas gift.
That's the invitation. So anyways, we hope you have a good rest of your day. God bless you. We love you. Take care. And Philip, will you play us out?